Good afternoon, friends. Unit 15, Test of True Love. See, even if you love somebody, at times your friends and anybody who is loved, they want to test you to see whether you are genuine in your feelings. But this one, test of true love, like many lovers, it is the bond between the two. It's a beautiful story, well narrated. You can picturize. Can you think of some of the Hindi movies, or even English movie for that matter? And you'll find that एक दूजे के लिए, that was of course an old time movie, but in which both the lovers have to appear for test or take the test to prove that their love is true. Dil Chahta Hai, in which Amir Khan and Priti Zinta, they come face to face. One is a playboy and the other is a serious one. And there are many more stories, but let us see what we have here. The pre-task for this lesson is starting with a poem. You too can write something like this for your friend. On Friendship Day, exchange cards. My love is like a red, red rose. When S is written with apostrophe, you can read it when my love is like a red, red rose that has newly sprung in June. My love is like the melody that sweetly played in tune. So see the comparison, see the simile. Poets love to hyperbole everything, exaggerate, make big of everything. So his love, and you've seen that most of the time people in love, they give each other red rose. So red rose is a sign of love. And the second one is my love is like the melody. Melody is the music. It's a song that sweetly played in tune. Now there was one movie, Bobby, in which the hero, he says, मैं शायर तो नहीं मगर है हंसी जब से देखा मैंने तुझको मुझको शायरी आ गई. So see, in love people become poets. Such composition comes to mind. So even in that one he says he is not a poet, but seeing you I have become poetic. So here, my love is like a red, red rose. It's so fresh, it's so beautiful. It is very strong. That's newly sprung in June. So this particular line shows that their love story is not very old. It is just begun. My love is like the melody. It is a beautiful tune that sweetly played in tune. Till all the seas go dry, my dear, and the rocks melt with the sun, I will love thee still, my dear, while the sands of life shall run. So in the second one, so very hyperbolic, meaning exaggeration. Rai ka parvat banana, as you would say, making mountains out of molehills. So my love for you is so strong and it will be so eternal that till all the seas go dry. He knows that the sea will never dry. And that is why he says, if the sea will dry, my love will dry. But the seas will not dry, and so my love also will not dry. It is eternal. And the rocks melt with the sun. Now, already you know the rock cannot melt unless it is the molten which is inside the earth. And this is also impossible. And therefore he is trying to assure his beloved that his love for her is eternal, it's very strong, it is genuine. It is not just a plaything. I will love thee still, my dear. Yeah, even if these things which are impossible happens, then also I will love you. My love for you will not die if the seas will dry, rocks will melt, while the sands of life shall run. So till my heart beats, till I have breath in me, my love for you will be lasting. So see how strong the whole poem is. You can quote these lines on the friendship day and attach to it a rose and pass it to a friend. But the various colors of the rose identified in a different way. Each signifies something different. That was the first pre-task. And the second pre-task, see, a film producer or director, when selecting actors and actress, when they are called for audition or for screen testing, even their voice testing, then you find what does the director and producer keep in mind. So a film producer or director, when selecting an actor or an actress, has something on their mind. They test the quality of voice, the tone, how you can read and deliver. Articulation is the clearance of the speech, and that is why they tell them, you just speak the words, I love you. If I say I love you, it is not meaningful. You might have seen in many, and they want their beloveds to pronounce these three words. I love you. And the second one, I believe in myself. So this also, these are the two sentences which are made to be repeated, and based on that they are selected. If they succeed in speaking these two sentences, they can play any role. Now, for example, you have Amin Sahani. Now, a great voice. He was only a anchorer for the songs sequence that used to come. Now again he is coming, I think, on Radio Mirchi. Same way Amitabh Bachchan's voice. And then you have Jodha Akbar, in which the commentary is run. It is by one of the Puris. And see, the voice quality is very, very strong. And many times it is because of that they are selected. Explanation we have here. Do you have a pen friend in India or overseas? Now you might wonder, what is a pen friend? Pen friend is a person whom you have never met, but with whom you exchange letters. Nowadays you have the computers, and many times through Facebook, many times through just the mails, you just surf and you find someone interesting and you write to them and you start exchanging letters. So a friend whom you have never met. So pen friend is a friend whom you have never met, but you correspond through letters and soul. So you are bound, you have a bondage. So through letters and through the soul. And then you chance to meet that person. This story is something like the pen friends meeting. Lieutenant Blandford was anxiously waiting for someone special. Now the word lieutenant, it is actually a French pronunciation, but in India many people pronounce it as lieutenant. So Lieutenant Blandford was anxiously waiting for someone special. For every now and then, he would look at his watch to see the time. So how do you know that he was anxiously, keenly waiting? It is because every time he was looking at the watch. When you have to wait for somebody, you find the time is never passing. That 5 minutes looks like 1 hour. So here for him, that time is not ticking by. For every now and then, he would look at his watch to see the time. It showed 6 minutes to 6. 6 bajne mein 6 minute baki. He was waiting at Grand Central Station in New York. So you may get this particular for comprehension. What shows that lieutenant was waiting for someone special? That is, waiting at the station and looking at the time. And the second thing is, where was he waiting? So Grand Central Station in New York. His heart was beating fast. Sometimes the heartbeat is so loud that you feel that someone else can hear your beat of the heart. Of course, nobody can hear it, but you feel the pulping or the pumping of the heart's arteries so fast that it looks it's making sound. For the woman with whom he was corresponding for past 13 months had been in his thoughts since that time. So just imagine, they started exchanging letters, and since then always he used to think about her. What had left a scar on his mindset was, of course, there will be times when you are afraid. So this is what she had said. It had left a scar meaning a mark on his mind which he could not erase, he could not delete. And what was it? There will be times when you are afraid. Imagine you can hear my voice saying to you, I shall fear not even death in battle. So this particular line, I shall fear not death even in battle, this is what had impressed him so much. He had remembered these words and given him strength. While the thoughts were flashing through his mind, a girl passed by him very closely. So many times it is like a quick succession, or sometimes you play fast forward. So in this way, the thoughts were flashing, meaning fast forward ho rahe the, when a girl passed. She was wearing a flower, but it was white rose. He was to recognize his friend by red rose. Besides, this girl looked younger, about 18. And Maynell had told him she was 30. So he cross-marked the first girl, because one thing she did, she was having white rose, and second thing, she looked 18 rather than 30. Lieutenant Blandford was to carry a novel title of Human Bondage. This novel he had picked in his training camp, and it had some handwritten comments, typically feminine. So see, they have not met each other, and they have not sent photographs also. And that is why, how is one to recognize? So in the letter they had said that what they would be wearing, which they can identify. So the girl was to carry a red rose, and the lieutenant was to carry the book, the novel. What was the name of the novel? Of Human Bondage. She will see the book in his hand, and she will understand it's a lieutenant, and he will see the red rose, and he will understand. Now this novel he had picked in his training camp. Throughout the book, throughout the novel, there were some notes and comments written. And they were very feminine, meaning very ladylike writing. And that is why it had impressed him so much. Not only that, he being a soldier, he did not think so much about the ladies being so very expressive in their thoughts. And he found that this lady was strong enough to express her thoughts. Here we have a picture of the railway station. You can almost think that gentleman waiting is none other than Lieutenant Blandford. And here are the meanings, and the words have been underlined for you in the paragraph so you can identify them faster. Overseas meaning abroad. Correspond meaning exchange through letters or mail. Anxiously meaning eagerly, keenly. You can also say keen, K-E-E-N. Beating fast meaning throb of the heart. Scar is a mark. Flashing meaning rapid movements of thoughts. Like I said, fast forward. Pass by, went past. And novel is a novel katha. It is one thick book and only one story in that. Her name was inside the cover of the book, Horace Meynell, and her address was traced from New York telephone directory. So see, how did he come to know of the lady? Because she had been writing notes in the novel. And second thing, she had left her name written on the cover of the page, inside. And when he saw that, he thought he must meet the lady. And that is why, of course, the address was not written. He traced it through the New York telephone directory. After which they began to write to each other regularly. So there you are, that once he had written, she would reply, and this way the silsila would begin. Of course, the first move was made by Lieutenant to thank her for understanding man's thoughts. So he was grateful, and he does not feel bad that a man can say thank you to a lady. It will be below dignity. So he had written a letter to the lady to thank her for what she expressed and how well she understood the man's thoughts. Of many occasions, he had asked for her photographs. On many occasions he said, why don't you send your photograph? And we so easily on the Facebook, it's not everybody keeps their photograph on it. You find that you also keep some other one. Some hero, heroine's picture also you keep it, and then you write your name. So the next person never knows actually what you look like. Many times it is dangerous. That's why people don't like to keep their own photographs. But she had refused and reasoned. So why she did not give the photograph? So see, she refused. She said, no, nothing doing. I will not give you my photograph. Refuse meaning to turn down. Reason that, and she explained that if she was beautiful, then he liked her for her beauty. So see how she is reasoning, that if she was beautiful, it is not her that he likes, but her beauty that he likes. He liked her for her beauty. And if she was ugly, then she would feel that he was writing because she was lonely. This is what he will think, that she is lonely, poor thing, nobody writes, let me write. Both the situations would displease her. She would not like either pity or liking a beauty. So strongly she had said to see when he would come to New York. So you can see me when he comes back from his station where he is outside. It was 1 minute to 6. So see, at the beginning it was said 6 minutes to 6. And now it is only 1 minute. And Lieutenant Blandford's heart leaped. It jumped. Sometimes your heartbeat is so loud, it looks as though the heart is coming out of your mouth. A young lady, dil dhadakna, it gave such dhak-dhak. The young woman was coming towards him. He saw this lady coming towards him. She was tall and slender. So see, just a beauty pageant. She was tall and she was slender, meaning she was thin also. Her eyes were blue as flowers. So see, beautiful eyes. Her lips and chin had gentle firmness. So that also shows that she knows that she is beautiful. Her green suit made her look springtime itself. She looked so fresh. She looked so beautiful, as though it was the Vasant season. As Blandford began to move towards her, he noticed she did not have a red rose. So he thought it is her only, the lady with whom he is exchanging letters. So he began to move towards her. But what did he see? That she is not having a red rose, but said while passing by. So while she was passing by him, she made a comment. Going my way, soldier? So see, indirectly she had already said hello. But he did not make out, and he was to make out with a red rose. And an older lady about 40, who was getting grey hair and rather heavy and untidy, had the red rose. See what a turn of events. What you would say, sent back to the thoughts and the heartbeats. The lady is older. She is 40. She is getting grey hair. She is heavy, fat. She is untidy. She is not well kept. And it is her who is having the red rose. Blandford pulled away his eyes from the lady in green, checked his feelings. So his heart was constantly, wanting to see that lady in green. But this lady was having the red rose. And therefore, he was forced to pull the eyesight or his vision or his seeing from the green lady. Checked his feelings and began to attend the lady with red rose. So see how obedient he is, how sweet he is, how committed he is. He pulled all his courage to give full attention to this lady who looked pale, plump-faced, but gentle and kind. So it was her writings which were always encouraging him, and therefore he thought, whatever it is, he must give full attention to the lady with red rose. Here we have the meanings, and as I said, most of the meanings come on the same page, so that you don't have to flicker through. You don't have to turn back to the last page to see the glossary or sit down with a dictionary. So first one, directory. Now this one you already know, but the word has been underlined just for you to keep in mind, so that if the question is asked, how did he get the address? So directory is actually the attendance of all the people having the telephone. Their name is given, the number is given, and the address is also given. Comments are remarks. Sometimes you have this commentary running. So comments are remarks. Rather feminine, meaning ladylike. Directory, telephone guide, situation, cases, leaped, jumped, slender meaning thin, gentle firmness meaning sabya dradta. So actually it is very gentle, it is very timid, it's very ladylike. So that gives her real beauty to her personality. She gave a warm and friendly smile. Who gave this warm and friendly smile? The old lady with the red rose. Blandford at once put his novel forward and thought he may not love her, but they could be friends forever. So he thought this could not be love. He could not love this lady. But yeah, he can cherish it as a friendship. He would treasure their relationship as it was very precious, because throughout his camp, throughout his station outside, he was given the courage because of that particular letter, or rather the notes in that book. Like the habits of soldiers, he saluted. Though she was different from his expectation, he had thought her to be 30, of course, beautiful, lovely, tall, and a whole lot of things. She had never given her own description, but yet he had his own imagination. Kalpana, he had already done a lot of imagination. So she was not living to her expectation. Who? The lady with red rose. He introduced himself and he said that I am Lieutenant Blandford and that she was Maynell. So he says that I am Lieutenant Blandford and you are Maynell, and expressed his pleasure in seeing her and asked if they could have dinner together. So as it had been decided previously that when they meet, they will talk to each other over dinner. And so he is inviting her for dinner, that he is glad and they can have the dinner together. The lady simply smiled and said she didn't know him. I'm saying, you calling me for dinner, but I don't know you. So she is totally taken by surprise. It was abak, what you say, strange. It was unthought of. But it was the lady in green who had asked her to carry the red rose, and she had agreed. So very simply she says, that lady who just passed by in the green, she told me, you take this red rose. And so I just took it. I complied with it. I agreed with it. She also said one more thing. And what was that? She said, if the lieutenant asked for dinner date, to tell him that she was waiting for him in the restaurant across the street. So the lady with the red rose conveyed the message, gave the message of the lady in green, and said what? That she gave me the rose, and if you ask me for dinner, I am to tell you that she is waiting for you in the restaurant across the street. She also had said it was some kind of test. So one more thing that she had told the lady, that this is a test. Well, a beautiful love story, which you might want to direct at some point of your life. Don't give that mischievous smile. I can read your thoughts. So, you see, aisi kahaniyan, they give it also on the television, so more people view it. Because movies, it's not necessary that all movies are seen by all people. But in television shows, small screen, most of the stories conveyed are shown, are seen by larger crowd. And that is why I said that maybe the story has impressed you. And in case you become a producer or director, you would want to take up this story for your production. So the last line is saying that you might want to direct at some point of your life. So if you become a director, you would want to see how these two would look at the end. Don't give that mischievous smile. See, your thoughts have been read by your teacher, and that is why she says, I can understand what is going on and what is playing in your mind. The words for this page: forever, all time. Treasure meaning precious or valuable or value highly. Precious is treasure or it is valuable, and mischievous is naughty. We are coming to the end of the story. We have already come. Now we are going to go to the things that are discussed in your book. Vocabulary. Now A of vocabulary, nearest in meaning to the main sentence, Open your books to page 141. 141. The first sentence that comes, the lieutenant lifted his face, meaning he looked up. Second sentence, if your feelings for me has any reality, means that if you truly love me. Third one, in her green suit, she was like springtime itself. It means she was as beautiful and cheerful as the flowering season, that is springtime. Also very fresh, right? Fourth one, he felt a strong urge to follow the girl, means he had a keen desire to go after that girl. Who was that girl? In green. Fifth, and Brentford's heart leaped, meaning he felt extremely excited. Heart going dhak, dhak, dhak. Sixth sentence, her words written in her letter meant a great deal to him, meaning some sentence in her letter gave strength to him. Seventh one, how different she was from the girl he had expected. The girl he had thought about was not like this one. So that picture of lady with the red rose and the one who had passed the green suit, they were so different. B part of vocabulary. The words and expression used in this lesson to describe lady with red rose and the lady in green suit. Now in your book they have given side by side. On one side it is given the lady with red rose and the other side it is given the lady in green suit. So when you read the book, these are the words used for describing each one. The red rose lady, she was rather heavy. She was about 40 and getting grey hair. She was pale, she was plump and fair. And she had kind and gentle and even warm and friendly eyes. Here she was kind, gentle and had warm and friendly eyes. While the lady in green suit, she was tall, she was slender, her eyes as blue as flowers, lips and chin had a gentle firmness, meaning she was pretty strong-willed. That particular line, lips and chin, had a gentle firmness, meaning she was pretty strong in mind. And sweet smile, she gave a very charming smile. So that is how you can use or find from the book describing each lady. C part of the vocabulary, use these words in your own sentences. The first sentence, the word is throughout. Japan is famous for its technology throughout the world, meaning all over. Second, refuse, meaning to turn down. We couldn't refuse their invitation as they had come personally to invite, meaning we could not turn down their invitation. Third, untidy meaning unkept. Careless people are generally untidy in work and in appearance, meaning they are not very systematic. Fourth, imagine. I couldn't imagine that I was actually on KBC's hot seat. So just imagine you get a chance. Now there's going to be one more season of KBC. And if you happen to sit on the hot seat, just imagine. Fifth, grateful meaning thankful. Many parents were grateful to the reality shows which gave a chance to their kids. Sixth one, precious, something valuable. Bond of friendship is very precious. Comprehension, we have the question answer section here. First question, for whom was Blandford waiting? Answer, Blandford was waiting for Hollis Meynell, his pen friend. Second, How was Blandford to recognize Hollis Meynell? Answer. Hollis Meynell had written that she would be wearing red rose. Third one. How did the friendship between John Blandford and Hollis Meynell begin? Answer. John Blandford had picked a novel title of Human Bondage, and inside the cover of the book her name was written. Then Lieutenant Blandford found her address in New York telephone directory. The first move was made by Lieutenant Blandford, and she had answered his letter. Then began the non-stop exchange of letters, and their friendship grew. So then began the non-stop exchange of letters, meaning patro ka or patra no व्यवहार चालू थयो, or you can say the silsila of exchanging letters and thoughts began. Fourth, how has Miss Meynell's letter helped Blandford? Answer. Though they hadn't seen each other, yet her letters stating, of course, there will be times when you are afraid. Imagine you can hear my voice saying to you, I shall fear not even death in battle. So when you think of this, that means you will never be frightened at any point of time. So that had given him strength. Fifth question. Why did Miss Meynell refused to give her photograph? Answer. Lieutenant Blandford had requested Meynell for her photo, but she had refused all requests for her photograph. She had explained that if his feelings for her were true, then her looks don't matter. She asked him to suppose that if she was beautiful, she would always be under the impression that he loved her for her beauty. And if she were ugly, then he wrote to her the letters because of her loneliness. Sixth, how did Blandford introduce himself to the lady with red rose? So see, it is a nice way to learn how to introduce yourself. Many a times one forgets to introduce, or sometimes you just come across each other. Then you're supposed to give your introduction. So here you have the how to introduce. At exactly 1 minute to 6, Blandford's heart leaped. He saw a young woman advancing towards him, but it was a woman past 40 who had the rose. Blandford, though in double mind, did not hesitate and saluted the lady with red rose, held the book forward to her, and he said, I am Lieutenant John Blandford, and you are Miss Meynell. I am so glad we could meet. May I take you for dinner? Such a formal and sweet way of introducing oneself. So he introduced himself in such a beautiful manner. Very formal and very courteous. Extra questions. Did Blandford pass the test and how? Answer. Yes, Blandford did pass the test. He did not hesitate to accept the pale, plump, fat lady past 40 as his friend who had been writing letters to him. Second, what kind of relationship was Meynell looking for? Answer. Meynell was a very practical person. She believed that a relationship gets strong on faith, true love and trust. It is not superficial or artificial that is attracted by looks. It is the meeting of soul to soul. Textual comprehension is the extract and the questions. First paragraph picked from your book, page 139. It begins with his mind went and you take it up to so well. The question that is, how did Of Human Bondage link Blandford and Meynell? Answer, in the training camp, Blandford had a novel titled Of Human Bondage. Throughout the novel, there were notes in women's handwriting. This incident linked Blandford and Meynell. Second one. What surprised Blandford about Meynell's notes in the novel? Answer. Blandford never had imagined or believed that a woman could understand man's thoughts so well. The second paragraph is from page 140. It begins from Lieutenant Blandford did not up to grateful. First question, why was Blandford holding the novel in his hand? Answer, Lieutenant Blandford and Meynell had never met before. The novel in Blandford's hand would be a mark of identification and show who he was. And the second question of the same paragraph, what kind of relationship did he wish to have with that lady? Answer, he at once understood it couldn't be love between them, but it would surely be something precious, say friendship, for which he would always be grateful. The third paragraph picked is from page 138, 6 minutes to 6, that is right at the beginning. Noted the time. First, where was the young lieutenant waiting? Answer is, the young lieutenant was waiting at Grand Central Station in New York. Second, from where did the young lieutenant confirm the time? From where did the young lieutenant confirm the time? Answer, the young lieutenant confirmed the time from the clock above the information desks. Write a paragraph on the end of the story, Test of True Love. Answer, the bond between Blandford and Meynell had grown strong. At the station he had a strong urge to follow the young lady in green suit, but instead he attended the lady with Rose. He saluted and held his novel forward. He knew that it was not love, but the woman's writing had given him great strength. He decided that their friendship was something precious, what you call friendship, for which he was grateful. He cherished this idea and invited the lady for dinner. And the twist was that the lady said the lady in green suit had asked her to wear the rose. And when invited for dinner, she had to inform him that she was waiting in a restaurant across the street. What a relief for Blandford, and he passed the test of love. Grammar section. First one, expressions. Would rather, don't like, preference or liking. Now you have to complete this dialogue using either of them. George is asking Nilesh, Nilesh, we are going for a movie. How about you? Nilesh, no, I would rather go to the playground. George, it is a new movie, Nilesh. I'm sure you won't get bored. Nilesh, I don't like even new movies. George, but it has your favorite actress. Now you can't say no. Nilesh, but I would rather go for an old movie. Be part of that grammar conversation between the group leader and the forest god. Fill in the blanks. Page 143. The forest god. Have you ever been to Satsangir? Group leader. No, we haven't ever been to Satsangir. It is our first visit. Forest god. You have not seen any real lion yet. Group leader. Yes, we have seen real lions. Forest god. Where did you see the real lion? Group leader. We have seen them in a circus, even zoo. Forest god. Do you want to see a lion's family? Group leader. Yes, we would very much like to see it. Forest god. Look, the lion's family is approaching. One of them is the lion, the other is a lioness, and the rest of them are cubs. So the baby lion are called cubs. Group leader, can I shoot the family with the camera? Forest guard, yes you may, but don't go too near them. They do not like it, someone disturb them. Group leader, okay.